Chat, here we go. It's Nass versus Vatira in the beginning of the gauntlet in the road to 100,000 subscribers invitational. That's right. If you have been enjoying these show matches or enjoy some high-level 1v1, maybe think about subscribing as we are getting closer and closer to hitting 100,000. This could be your sign. But what is this tournament? This is a tournament of 4 invited players. Nass, Atto, Drally, and Moxie. They played in a pool play in order to get to this position. And now, they're playing a gauntlet. You might be wondering, what about Moxie, who finished in pool play in last? Actually, today is Moxie's birthday, and a surprise party was being held for him. It sounds like he told his family, hey, listen, on my birthday, I'm going to be playing some of these games. I'm going to be trying to win it in this tournament. And they said, hey, listen, you can't be doing that, because actually we had a surprise party for you, and we had to tell you because we know you wouldn't have showed up otherwise. So he was planning on playing the tournament, but he cannot. Instead, he's going to go celebrate his birthday, so shout outs to him, which does mean that Vatira gets to move on for free, and now is starting against Nass in a best of 7. Vatira played through a closed qualifier as a last chance for someone else to make it into the tournament and take some of the prize from the players that were invited. And it's not going to be an easy road. It wasn't easy yesterday in order to get into the tournament, and now he's going to have to win 3 straight best of 7s if he wants to take the $1,000 first place prize. But there is also prize to be earned elsewhere. Third place, meaning the winner of this match will guarantee that, gets 100, and if you can win one more, you'll get at least 400. So that are the stakes today. And in the first minutes, Vatira showing why he was able to qualify for this tournament in the first place with a 4-0 lead on Nass, who has struggled to find any offense in the first 60 seconds. Oh, it is best of 7. Yeah, sorry, thank you. Atto said no best of 7 today, and that's because he's looking at the overlay. And let me go ahead and update that overlay to indicate best of 7, as Nass going to be able to stop one of Vatira's many attacks, but going to have to do a bit more than that if he wants to get back in this game. I'm the best viewer in this chat, do not worry. Yes, Atto on a 3-stream streak, reminding me that it is best of 7, and I need to update the overlay. But Vatira, oh wow, I was going to say Vatira's going to make it 5 straight to open the game, but somehow he did not double that. Nass able to get the save. Going to have to play on 12 boosts, so an instant flick from him. And as he chases back to the ball, he forced Vatira to rush. Vatira could not get the angle on the long shot. Nass now, is this flick going to be enough? It is. Vatira drops the nice shot for Nass's first goal. Really strong first touch as he saw Vatira close to the back wall with him. So he wants to get the ball moving in order to potentially be able to get it to net before Vatira's return, and it's exactly what he was able to do with the subsequent flick. Now a kick-up possession in his favor. This flick leaving a bit to be desired. Very soft touch, as now he's trying to wait out to see if he can get a clean possession without Vatira getting boost, and instead Vatira will just go grab boost. This is what I was talking about. It felt like what Vatira needed to do was stick around and do his best to play on 0, something that would have been Nass's advantage. But instead, Vatira took the risk and said, I think I can go get the 100, which is even better for Nass, as he will shoot at a defenseless net. Ooh, what a slot. Nass right back into it. Kickoff win to the back wall. And Vatira attempting to recover, could not stop it from falling into the top right. Nass, he has a lot of sidewall kickoff wins. He's almost always going left with them, at least when he wins them and is able to quickly score them. It seems like they're going left, and I don't know if that's because he just favors that side every time, or happens to just set it up better when he goes there. Vatira cannot get this save, so it's 4 straight for Vatira, and then it's 4 straight for Nass, as the Vatira bettors, I'm sure, were feeling good to open this game, as ultimately the prediction did end up around 50-50. A lot of Vatira believers, which under normal 1v1 circumstances do think people would have Nass favored against just about everyone. Maybe not Rawas, but he is coming off of a couple losses. So how far has he fallen? Is it enough for Vatira to maybe get an upset here? Or is Nass on a roll now with 5 straight? Nass read the fake kickoff, chipped it towards the nets, and the follow-up, though, is not what he needed. As he ends up just not only using a flip, but using a flip for a very low shot, which means a lot of extra risk for nothing to show for it. Nass, clean possession. First touch is actually in towards the corner. And then tries to hook it back on target. Vatira with the stop. How long can he survive on no boosts? Taps this one into the corner. Had a chance to potentially dive there. Decides instead to shadow. Has a solid save. Looking for a counterattack. Nass prepared for it. But now it'll be Nass who might be stuck back. Vatira faking like he's going to go infield. Nass just looked for the low 50 if Vatira actually was going to touch the ball. But Vatira did not, and instead waited it out and found his opportunity. Nass following him in. He was going for that low 50 on no boost. He wanted to get the power from Vatira. Vatira refused to give it to him and waited until the zero boost. Nass had to give the ball away. Now Nass up into the air. Extra strong touch to get over the top of Vatira pre-jump. Vatira actually still manages to get it clear and sends it to the side wall on the way back down to the ground. Now Nass with 30 seconds left to go. Doesn't seem to be in any rush. He wants to score this possession, but why not take a few extra seconds off if you can? That reset, though, is not as good as it maybe could have been. At least he's able to recover. Now a little bump onto Vatira, and now an open shot. The clock will wind down even more. Vatira can do nothing but maybe save himself a second by tapping it in. And now he's got 10 seconds to try and equalize this game. Delay kickoff for Vatira, and I think he has a direct angle. It should be a tie game. I'm a big fan of the delay kickoff in these crucial situations because so often, especially when you haven't been delaying all game long, you can get a quick win like that. Now with 5 seconds left to go, a more neutral kickoff. Wait, Vatira just dove and he's going to get scored on. Oh, no, he's not. So maybe he's planning the 0 seconds, but that was pretty close. That was quite the dive. If that bounces up, Nass gets back to it and wins, but he might just win a direct kickoff either way. And yes, game number 1 will go to Nass in overtime. A kickoff that stays glued to the midfield, but in favor of Nass as it moved to the right with him. And he will shoot it for the game 1 win. Game number 2. Moxie is Feer's nephew confirmed. No, it is not Moxie. Nass and Vatira. Nass able to take the overtime win. Now, seeming like he was going to threaten an air dribble bump, decided against it. Vatira does make the in and out save on very little boost. And now a demo. Looked like he was going to race to the corner to steal it. But when he noticed that Nass was looking to meet him there, he said, I could just turn in and delete him. It looks like actually Nass might have been trying to do the same thing. Let's go back and watch it again. It looked like his angle was not towards the boost. Vatira getting chased off the ball, but only for a moment. He now has a sidewall setup. Nass pins this into the ground, forcing Vatira to reset. This is a really strong setup from Vatira, attacking the right side of the nets, forcing Nass to transition onto the back wall above the nets, where there's a lot less to be done about a nice low shot. You have to recover much more. I think Nass would prefer to stay on that back wall to the side of the net, but can't do so when Vatira does a good job of getting the ball out midfield, attacking the right post. Old Feer would have fixed the overlay. What's wrong with the overlay? Vatira. A flick after a save. Took the ball to the back wall. And then just ripped a flick top left. Interesting. Vatira maybe was expecting Nass to be challenging there. That heavy side flip almost seemed indicative of trying to get around a challenge, but there was no challenge anywhere near him. Nass. Oh, the fake. Wait, he actually doesn't score it. He ended up post-pinching it with a ton of power. That actually puts it back in Vatira's hands. But the recovery keeps it from being a goal. Now Nass doubling off the ceiling in order to play keep away from a Vatira who went there to meet him. But Vatira does indeed get the possession and has done a good job of sniping the length of the field whenever he does. Did he get a reset on the ball? Might have gotten a reset on his challenge, fell away, dashed back, and then boomed the power shot. And he has built himself a lead once again at the start of this game. A lead that Nass whittled down and ultimately won in game number 1. Vatira, a demo and a really safe touch. I think he could have probably shot it right away, but decides to get the controlling touch first. Vatira seems like he's trying to decide if he can go to that back corner or not. If Nass is just going to try and collect it and take it straight towards the net, which is exactly what he decides to do. And the double jump bump is a classic, and it'll work. Wait, I only just now noticed that Nass is rocking the Saudi Arabian flag as part of his banner. Vatira gonna take this into the back corner and use his flip to get out to the ball in order to make sure Nass has no way of getting back in time. Under different circumstances, with that kind of speed, Vatira maybe goes to the ceiling for a reset, but it's not what he needed. He needed ball in net ASAP. Nass gonna use the last bit of boost to get back to this one to do something similar. After getting it around, Vatira on the kickoff got the boost steal and needed to stay with the ball. Could not let it land, because if it did, Vatira would have been able to get back to that. But he kept it in the air, and now a delay from Vatira again. We saw that to tie the game late in game number 1. But he's going to use it a little bit more because it's been working out. The really heavy delays we've seen Nass chip over the top of, but Vatira hiding them much better. He's got himself a 4-goal lead. Nass gifted a goal here. I think Vatira maybe expecting Nass to be more aggressive on the ball as he came into the corner, and so didn't realize he was side flipping against nobody. Nass just reversed and then collected the possession for the goal. Nass double, and it's a fancier collection of a kickoff goal, but it's still one that comes moments after Vatira actually tried to bail out of the early challenge and get back down to the ground. But it looks like the early challenge would have been the only thing that stood a chance. Nass into the corner. Gonna sit and wait. Vatira, the 50, and he can force it in. Vatira pops this one up and decides to just hang out behind the ball, and he comes in for the 50 on top of it in order to guarantee it stays pinned down. Does not allow Nass to squeeze it out over the top. Just keep it glued to the ground. And Vatira has the better follow-up. Up 3 goals with a minute left to go. Maybe doing a little bit of time wasting, as he seems uninterested in playing this any quicker than he needs to. He's got Nass pre-jumping up behind the ball. Now decides he finally needs to actually go for it. Or maybe not. Oh, you need to be careful with the way he collects his possession. He could have collected it cleaner, taken it to his back corner to delay even more time. But it looks like he got Nass to get frustrated and dive for a demo. So Vatira will eventually... Oh, get his goal! No, he won't, actually. Nass gets the save. But the most important thing is that Vatira remains in control of the possession and can continue to whittle time away. Nass has no choice but to just go gung-ho on every single challenge and opportunity. And that makes it an easy job for Vatira to read. Nass just barely missed that one, but I don't think he was going to get 2 more kickoff goals. Game number 2, going to go to Vatira. Some smart time wasting to ice out the game, and we have ourselves a tied series. Game 2. Nass and Vatira. Vatira been dabbling in the delay kickoffs a lot. This one is not going to go as well as the previous ones did, but he still makes it back. Pre-flips in front of the shot off the respawn. And there will be no early goal for Nass off the kickoff. Nass has been going to these late flicks. He pops the ball, air rolls really far forward, and is trying to launch it with the tail end of his car. I've seen a lot of powerful flicks that way. So far, he has been putting very limited power on his. Gonna get a demo, but Vatira got a good enough touch on the ball that it's gonna send Nass back to restart him again. This time through the air, Vatira pre-jumps. Nass reacts by trying to pull off the ball, but the first touch was too strong, and he couldn't slow it down. Nass has been making a lot of last-second saves as well, as he keeps the game scoreless. Another early jump from Nass on an aerial. Has a save, 17 boost. Gets a reset, uses it for a dash. A great thinking play from Nass there. Considering he had nothing left to work with, he found a way to get some power and maybe even get an outplay, but still Vatira solid on defense. Air dribble reset. The fake is going to be a goal. You could tell from Vatira's perspective that it was going to be a fake, especially with the way Nass was positioning in net, having to swing in from the corner after grabbing the 100. Plus, Vatira just did not get a really clean reset on it. I don't know what his shot would have been, but easier to say than to predict in the actual game, and Nass not able to predict it. Vatira scores early. Another just slightly off angle from Nass, and Vatira is not going to have the same problem. He's going to roll his off the post and in. Nass has missed slightly wide, and those margins are slim on the post. Ball bounces right back out for you, but one more degree off, and it sends itself flying away. Vatira going to get another. Oh wait, no, he's not. He's going back to his own half. Got mixed up there. I'm going to blame the reverse cam. Vatira may still get his other, though, because he's got a full possession. Although his reset is caught by Nass and countered. If you're going to play through the air in this day and age, you cannot have the ball crossing the goal line at ground height, because if Nass was not there, that ball probably does make it in without hitting the ground, but just barely. It's going to be fairly low. Those low shots are easily saved. Not only that, they're easily countered. Nass showing how to counter right now as he ties the game back up. It's not just weak aerial shots that are passes in 1v1. It's also weak ground shots. Now Nass has Vatira starved out in nets. Can he convert? He's got him jumping. Tried to go for a low 50. Could not keep Vatira from creeping out into the corner. So advantage Vatira now. as he starts to dribble all the way from the back right. And he's using that flip so early, but he might be able to undercut Nass and finish it off. Normally, you see players holding on to that flip, trying to use it a little bit closer to the net, as Nass seems really passive the way he's defending. But Nass could not get it out of the post. So it rattles around and Vatira gets the finish. Such a mind game nowadays with those aerial plays. Everybody pre-jumping because they have to in order to stop them. So then it's a back and forth between the player and the defender in the air, whether or not they're going to actually keep going or they're going to take it down to the ground. Vatira lost control as he tried to get the reset. Popped the ball too far away from him. Still should be able to get a decent clear here. Bit of an all-in play for this double with no boost left, but a decent enough touch that he will buy himself time at the very least to be able to defend. And Nass let that ball roll too far off the front of his car. Vatira, a bump attempt. Nass saw it coming, tried to use his jump to push himself back down to the ground, but it wasn't enough. Vatira sends one to the ceiling off the kickoff. Vatira's been doing such a good job defensively. Always been known as a good defender. But he has really been making Nass work for his goals. In fact, the only times that Nass, I think, has even scored in this game has been counterattacks. Only when Vatira messes up on offense has Nass been able to score. Anytime Nass has a possession and Vatira is there prepared, it's been too much. And I actually think Vatira is into time-wasting mode right now because this is not how he's been setting up his attacks earlier. With a minute left to go, he's just kind of playing a bit of keep away. It doesn't work for very long, though, as Nass does get the ball on his back wall. Nice soft touch. Vatira making sure that possession ended right there by keeping it under his control, not handing it back over to Nass. And he's going to go for a pinch to try and counter Nass pre-jumping him. He's expecting Nass down 2 with 20 seconds to be ultra aggressive, but Nass actually did stick around. A little bump, and now Vatira on 0 boost. Nass needs to convert on this take straight down the field. It is going to be a classic double jump bump, and it will work. So 6 seconds left to go. Nass probably needs something special on the kickoff, as Vatira put himself in a position that is pretty hard to recover from, trying to cover the length of the field, only using pads. And Vatira almost won a direct kickoff into the net. I think it was a delay from Nass. He's going to need a... Ooh, nice fake. I was going to say he needs a demo of some sort, but he's not even going to get back in time. Vatira fakes it, lets it hit the ground, and takes the lead in the series. Game number 4. Best of 7, so Vatira not on match point just yet, but seems to be on track to continuing his undefeated run. It was a single elimination qualifier to make it here in the first place, so Vatira needs to go on a big win streak if he wants to take down the entire tournament. Nass gonna open up the scoring most likely, even though the initial shot wasn't in. He is there for the follow-up. Nass. Oh my goodness, he's had way too many of these today. And Vatira is showing that he's not going to be able to get away with it. That just needs to be a goal, and it is almost every time normally with Nass. Delayed here. He wanted Vatira maybe to start turning in so that he could chip it over him. Vatira stayed strong in net. Said, I believe in my ability to just react to whatever your shot is, and it proved to be true. Nass, that boom is a result of Vatira pre-jumping, but it's so perfect, it doesn't matter. Vatira's been pre-jumping all day, and so Nass countered it by immediately booming the ball, but this time actually Vatira didn't pre-jump. It just was so perfect, top shelf, that there was no clean save for Vatira to make. And therefore, the follow-up was successful. But it also may work to back Vatira off, who has been doing a great job, like I said before, stopping Nass's offense early. Now Nass up 3-0. Sprinkle in some more goals instead of just the counterattacks. Delayed kickoff from Vatira. Maybe starting to be expected. He's used it a lot here against Nass. Nass has tried a few ways to get around it. The chip directly on target, but the past couple times just flipping into the ball has worked out just fine. He just 50s it around Vatira and usually gets control in his attacking corner. Vatira now, air dribble. Nass gonna cut it off. Problem with Vatira's dribble is it was already headed past the net, so it was never gonna be much of a scoring chance on the first take anyways. But he shows that it doesn't really matter. He just puts it down on the ground and finds a way to get around the ball in order to score on the follow-up. It's really hard to break down defenders on the first take, and Vatira seems to understand that. In no rush to score on the very first touch towards net. Just wants to put something up that the defender has to react to, has to move out, has to do something, and then try and break him down by winning the 50 and winning the follow-up. But this time, Nass converting because Vatira on 0 boost took a last-ditch effort flip in the corner when it didn't connect. He was not going to be able to get back to net. Vatira sees the top right corner available and doesn't need to do anything fancy. Wave dash kickoff missed a little bit by Vatira as he popped himself up far too high and never really recovered. Vatira needs to find a way to get his scoring going. Nass gonna make it 6-2 with 2:10 on the clock. We've seen 2 game wins straight for Vatira. The moment it felt like maybe someone is getting momentum, Nass counters it. It looks like we might be in for a tough series. And the thing about either one of these guys is they have a long day ahead of them if they're going to make it all the way through the gauntlet. So they could afford to win and win quickly. But if trends continue, Nass will be evening up this series. Vatira double jump will work within 3 with 2 minutes left to go. Vatira grabs the 100 boost and instantly starts boosting because he knows that Nass is coming in from behind to try and demo him, and the only way to evade that is if he uses some of his boost right away. It ends up paying off as he does get around the initial demo attempt and ultimately is able to counter from his own back wall after dodging Nass again. Nass went flying past the ball. Wait a second. We were talking about Nass bringing it back, and there's actually a ton of time left now that Vatira has strung a few goals in quickly. Kickoff win for Vatira. This might be a tie game. Wow. What a run from Vatira. If he can keep it up, even after tying, he's on pace to win by maybe 10 goals. Nass needs to stop the bleeding. Will we see a kickoff mix-up from him? It's actually going to be a kickoff mix-up from Vatira, who's done a good job of keeping Nass guessing, and nice recovery in order to prevent Nass from getting a goal. 50 from Vatira. Keeps him in control of the ball, but sacrifices the boost, so he'll now have to back off to get some of his own. But immediately return to the play. Nass, who was trying to collect it off the back wall, is going to take a couple touches to really control it. And Vatira made sure to get back before it was controlled. Next goal will be huge, especially the way Vatira's been playing. If Vatira gets it, I expect him to start switching up his gameplay into that time-wasting strategy. But Nass has done this as well in the game he won. He knows once he has a final possession in a tie game, it could be worth a lot. So absolutely no rush. Maybe waste a bit more time if you have to as well. It doesn't hurt. And eventually get your goal. You saw Vatira zap dashing out to go pick up a few pads, but Nass still finds the top left. Vatira, a high bounce that only he can get to if he does go up, but he decides to try and just fake Nass off the ball, and Nass doesn't leave. Nass used his pad worth of boost to tap it away. Now Vatira, is it going to be an eligible bump? You have to think it will be, and Nass actually got a touch on the ball, but it wasn't enough. 14 seconds left to go. Vatira able to clutch up and maybe force another overtime. Nass went out around it, but couldn't get a touch with the correct trajectory. Big kickoff now. Vatira, another win. Power sliding into the boost to make sure he is angled correctly at the ball right away in order to be able to make a quick play. And he actually gets a boost steal. Nass has enough to work with, though. 34 is more than enough to make a play in ones. But he is going to let it tap to the ground. Not going to try and score it from this position. We'll just go to a kickoff. Slight delay from Nass on the wave dash. Vatira is going to get the attacking corner, and Nass will take the midfield. Nass will get back to make the save. I DC'd. I don't know who won, but I DC'd. Wait, we're still in it. We're back. Something must have happened. Hopefully everyone's fully back. It seemed like a scoring opportunity, but obviously no one scored. And we are 30 seconds in. This time I effed with you guys. I don't know what happened in those moments, but Vatira will eventually get the goal. Nass just takes a carry straight to the back of Vatira, and his backflip challenge succeeds in earning him an opportunity on net. It's going to be a 3-1 lead for Vatira as we head to Game 5. Game number 5. Vatira 1 win away from continuing his winning streak, but it'll be his first win in the gauntlet. He just had to win a bunch to get here and take away some prize money from the players who were invited. In some areas, it's much more expensive. So we're talking about, we might have cut it out in the YouTube video in the break, about the fact that fiber is getting installed in my neighborhood. So, I mean, I plan to switch to it. My understanding is it's just better in every way. So I was asking chat, is there anything that's like potentially worse about it? Nass saving that one off the crossbar, should have a counter. And packet loss happens frequently. Wait, that's definitely worse. Because that's basically what I had there for like a second. So if it were to do that more often, then it's actually just worse. I don't need much more speed. Just need consistency. You don't have fiber? Yeah, I mean, it hasn't been available until maybe soon. I do not live in a remote area. Wait, chat, do you guys all just have fiber? Is chat, one in chat if you have fiber? There shouldn't be that many ones in chat, right? Isn't it somewhat new? 2 in chat if you do not have fiber. It's not even an option. That many people? Are you guys trolling? Or does everyone have fiber? Dog, it's 2027? It isn't, though. It's really common where I'm at. Oh my goodness, chat's just flexing their fiber. I guess I'm back in the Stone Age. Fiber's been out for 10 years. Probably had it in 10 years. The whole planet has fiber. No way! No way! It's not even an option. I understand that there's lots of places and locations that have fiber. I guess maybe I'm slightly more remote than like humongous cities or something. I don't know. You ain't a real fella if you don't have fiber. It hasn't been an option. All right, I'm gonna have fiber, chat. Chill. Okay, I guess I'm just you know, in the Stone Age. I'm working on it. And then we won't have those hiccups, hopefully. Nass tried to wait it out to get the boost. Did not work. Vatira seems half-heartedly committed to taking that air dribble, and maybe this is the reason why. He'll just take it to the ground and use a flick instead. You're in West Virginia and there's no fiber. I mean, I'm in Tucson. Not the biggest city ever, but it's certainly a city that you'd think, considering how many people typed 1. Well, anyways, I guess I'm getting it soon, so. Are all the other big, I mean, we shouldn't talk too much about internet, but what about the companies who don't offer fiber? Are they just like losing customers like crazy and they just have to figure it out? They should get some fiber? How did Feer get GC on dial-up? Okay. All right, guys. I guess I'm just built different, okay? I guess I'm just built different. My dial-up internet does just fine. Vatira has worked all the way back during our internet discussions. Nass got a 4-1 lead. But it has taken Vatira no time to equalize again. Nass able to get up to this one. Seems like he wasn't maybe sure if Vatira was going to recover or not. Had to look out around his car to make sure it was a guaranteed goal. The issue is that getting the fiber infrastructure into a city requires a ton of red tape. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like you have to, it's like a utility that has to get like installed in the entire city. It just seems like it's really hard. I mean, it doesn't surprise me that people don't have it yet, but I guess everyone has it but me. So never mind. Gonna have it soon. Late to the party, I guess. Nass sees the early challenge of Vatira and just launches it to get it around him. Nass trying to switch the field. Vatira sees that coming, says, no, 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 no. I'm not letting you take it over to your corner. I'll take that boost as well. You're going to give me a possession with a boost advantage one way or the other. And this time it's going to be Vatira uses an air dribble bump. That is one of the highest air dribble bumps I've seen. Not often do players go all the way up to the ceiling to set it up, but it was the right choice for Vatira this time. So he tries to inch his way back. Vatira could not connect on a demo. Now Nass using a couple heavy touches to get out quickly, to get Vatira feeling like he needs to panic back, and then pulling off the ball and going for a delay 50 in order to take advantage of the panic that he created. Very smart aerial play from Nass. And now a fake kickoff on the diagonal. Vatira can stay aggressive on the ball as long as he wants, but it is going to be a Nass possession eventually, and he undercuts Vatira. Now taking it to the ceiling, has the reset, waits all the way to the ground. Vatira does have that red. And now decides to fake on 0 boost, which the dangers of that is that if he doesn't clear the ball, he could be in trouble, but he manages to do so. Now, immediately pulling off of his air dribble and just getting a reset in order to try and deal with Vatira's pre-jumping. Vatira doing a good job of stealing possession away in these late moments. He needs 2 goals. It's going to be another air dribble bump, but this time it doesn't work. Nass out over the top of it. Boost grab, no demo. Vatira is going to look to try and get right back involved in the play quickly. Nice use of the flip. Good timing. Predicted Nass diving in. it's a bit of a mind game as you go to the ground whether or not to touch the ball away. If Nass backs off, hitting the ball maybe is not the right play. You could put it into Nass's control. Instead, you'd want to land down and keep it near you. But what is going on here? Vatira has been dabbling with the delay kickoff so much. And this one might be a little bit too delayed. He thought he was reading the ball, headed to the right, tried to turn out that way. Nass sends it the opposite way and directly into the net. And Vatira's not going to change up his strategy, though. Another delayed kickoff again. And it's got himself a possession with 36 left to go. Nass dives, and before Vatira can react and drop the ball for a 50, it's stolen off the top of his car. So Nass not going down without a fight. 31 seconds. And it's going to take a bit of kickoff choking here if he's not going to close out this game. And actually surprised to see Vatira faking a kickoff, because even if he does succeed in that and Nass does just hand him the ball, that possession is going to take a really long time. It's not easy to quickly shoot off that. And with 30 seconds left to go, you kind of just need rushed goals. A save by Nass to fully secure the game. Nass is going to get one more as Vatira helps it in. Game number 5 goes to Nass, as he's going to need 3 straight if he wants to advance in the gauntlet. Game 6, Nass and Vatira. Vatira has given himself 3 chances now to close out the series against Nass. He failed on the first, but he's got 2 more attempts. Nass has maybe found his car that he feels works for him. Definitely a player who... Oh my goodness, what a save. A crazy angle from Nass, but an even better save from Vatira. And he's able to follow it up to clear it away. Possession may still be Nass's, but Vatira has kept it equalized. Now Nass will flick one just past the jumping Vatira. Vatira really likes those delays in pretty much every kickoff. The diagonals, though, Nass has been able to just flip into, and then he wins the 50 over the top of Vatira and still gets a good possession. But it's clear that Vatira does not like standard kickoffs, does not like trying to just beat Nass at the ball in normal 1v1 fashion, whether that's wave dash kickoff or standard. Feels better about the kind of chaos that happens from delay. It is just a whole new set of outcomes, and it's all outcomes where he is on the ground and with boost. And it's obvious that that's what he prefers. He wants to be on the ground with a decent amount of boost that he saved from delaying, and he'll find a way to work it from there. We'll stay Vatira POV, see if we get a delay again. We do. Huge delay. Obviously, a certain level of risk, because on one of his delays, he just let the ball go straight in. He didn't even touch the ball as Nass put it on target. But this delay was successful, I'd say, as the first possession did go to him. And while Nass has the ball right now, he actually doesn't have it in that good of a position. So Vatira probably not too scared, and now he had the ball in a much better place, but credit to Nass. Early surprising backflip challenge that Vatira was not expecting ended that dribble that could have been deadly. Interesting. Nass, he needed to go in there at some point to make a play on the ball, but he just flipped away. And I don't know if it was accidental, but he just side flipped away from the play and gave even more space to Vatira. Nass gonna own goal as he tries to save the next kickoff. Vatira with 23 boost. I mean, the ball is just far enough away from the wall that Nass doesn't feel good about going up there to do something with it. So he returns to the ground and Vatira takes his goal. Nass trying to undercut or grab a demo, doesn't get either. So now he finds himself in the orange half with no boost. This flick was a bit too high. Not sure if he knows if Vatira got that boost or not, but it's not going to matter. Vatira, or maybe it does matter. Maybe he thought Vatira wasn't going to be able to take that shot because he thought he was out of boost. But Vatira did have enough and uses it to get a 3-goal lead. Nass wants to bring this down to the ground, but one thing Vatira has done a really good job of that lots of top-level players will not do is he makes sure no setup is free. Nass can't just get the ball on top of his car or start an air dribble or something where there's lots of space and no pressure from Vatira at all, which some players do. Some players back off. They say they just, prioritize having boost of their own. And they're totally fine with their attacker just getting whatever setup they want. Not the case with Vatira defensively. He refuses to let Nass get anything easy. And so Nass has had to find other ways to score. He's going to use demos to get his most recent 2 goals. Nass trying to get one of his classic kickoff wins. A standard kickoff forced to the left wall, and I'm guessing we did not have a delay from Vatira. And he'll probably go back to delaying again. Interesting approach to this ball from Nass's half. But again, this is what I'm talking about. So many different players will just leave there. If they're on the wrong side of the play, over on the right wall, ball and boosts for the other player on the left wall, they just go reset back in their net. Not Vatira. He picks up a couple pads and makes sure that Nass never gets anything clean. Eventually gets a possession of his own and a nice reset shot over the top of Nass to take the lead. Delay kickoff, as this is now within the time frame in which Vatira will switch up his play style and start to try and waste clock. But Nass isn't going to let him. There's no reason to waste clock in a tie game. Vatira could be 1 minute away from advancing in the gauntlet. Going to chip this one up, try and go to the left side of the nets to get around Nass. And it works out well. Nass was thinking about attacking first, angled towards the corner. After he saw the setup, had to go over to the side wall to get back up. All that kind of movement makes him arrive there just a bit late. Vatira forcing a save. Nass got undercut again. Vatira actually fought for a second undercut. Nass out of boost now because of it. And cannot seem to regain control. Need to have the boost advantage in the waning moments. And he should have it now, but Vatira put a shot on target. 7-5. 24 seconds left to go. Vatira, can he make a dream run through one of the toughest 1v1 gauntlets that's been played in a while? It starts with the player with the best tournament results in EU recently. And it's not over yet. Nass, a great kickoff win. Able to dodge the demo. And then catch with 1 boost to his name. Didn't even use it. Saved the 1 boost for the recovery in case he needed it. Now can he win a kickoff again? Vatira just goes standard kickoff. He's been delaying all game. He goes standard and he lets Nass win one of his classic left wall kickoffs. Nass is so quick. He gets around on the right side of the ball and tries to force it left. And because he does it fast enough, he's able to win it and tie up the game. 12 seconds now. Will we see Vatira's delay? No, Vatira still doesn't go to the delay. He's done decent with the delay. But he delayed late in games and maybe thinks Nass will expect it. Zap dash recovery to the ball. 0 boost for him. He wants the ball on the ground here, but Nass is going to get it into the air. 15 seconds. He might not need overtime. The flick is in. Nass clutches up at 0 seconds. Vatira, with no boost, jumps and tries to side flip as a way to force the ball onto the ground, get any pixel onto the ground, but Nass did not let it hit. And he has forced Game 7 against Vatira. Game 7. It's going to be potentially a long day for the winner of this series, and neither one of them did themselves any favors by going the distance here in this first match. Nass probably comes into the series as the favorite, and he will take the lead in game number 7. What did the prediction actually end up at? 54% for Nass, so it was still slightly in favor of Nass, despite his troubles in pool play. Nass might be able to convert another kickoff possession for a goal. And did Vatira delay this one? It's clear that he does not like going to the kickoff against Nass. And Nass is showing why maybe that's the case, but Vatira doesn't delay again. Great defensive maneuvering on 0 boost, in and out of the net. Single jumps early to kind of cover all the angles. And flips through to win the challenge, but he's still going to have to play defense. Nass used the reset early. Vatira actually has that save. Great read again. Vatira defensively has been otherworldly, and he's going to do it again. A save and a top left shot. Nass finally breaks through as Vatira makes save after save with a single pad. He falls off the net here and was wave dashing to prepare for a shot back to the other direction, but Nass just again placed it on the post. And now a 3-0 lead. Strong start for Nass, but a long game to be played. Vatira heavy touch. Cannot let this snowball in Nass's favor. Nass gonna go for a boost steal as he takes it into the opposite corner. Vatira on the ball. Did not get a reset. Decided to use his flip and just 50 it in. No need for a reset. He'll just rush the ball. He knew Nass wasn't expecting him to take it. Nass was turning in field right as Vatira got to the ball. And Nass had to rush back, which means he's going to have a diving across the net type save. One that, unless he times perfectly, is going to be really hard to win a 50 with. He's going to have to hope that Vatira can't force it in, and Vatira does force it in. 13 boost now. Needs a flick to finish off this possession before he runs out, and got a decent one. Couldn't chase down the demo. Missed the midfield boost. Will half flip. It actually might have even worked out better. I think Nass saw him miss it, and so took a heavy touch to see if he could just score quickly, and ended up giving the possession to Vatira for that. It ultimately plays off to Nass out of his own corner. Just a really favorable 50 there. Straight into the ceiling, back down to him. And there are the delays again. Vatira back to the delays now. Nass denied, and actually the recovery didn't look great. I'm sure Vatira noticed that. Gonna try and get a quick shot, but couldn't get the power on what was a pretty tough angle. Now Nass starved out. Can Vatira capitalize? As a reset, looks to try and keep it as high as he can. Forces Nass to make one save. Now going the opposite direction and converts. These two are so good at hitting the opposite corner to make that defender miss. Whenever they have only a pad or two worth of boost, it's hard to cross the net and make that play. But right now, these players are hitting it. Nass, catch onto the back wall. Pass to himself in the corner. Actually not the best play though, because he has to get up in the air to try and control it and protect it. It can be hard to do that. Now he's all the way on the back wall of Vatira, who has pinched this one high and looked for a long shot, but missed it wide. Yes. Oh, no follow-up. Looked like there was maybe a chance. Still has a solid advantage. Vatira has to go to the ceiling in order to redirect this ball because it was headed away from the net and into the midfield. Great 50 from Nass. Vatira should have time. Only going to be pads. He's able to pick up if Nass goes quickly, but Nass slows it down and allows Vatira to get 100 in the back corner. He denies the flick and has a clean catch. The ball never hits the ground. A pre-flip flick does not surprise Nass. He was hoping that Nass would react to a shot headed to the left side of the net, and then the pre-flip would pop it back the other way. But Nass ended up making that save and gets around the irregular bump. Nass, he has gotten his wins in big tournaments off of his defense, and he might be doing it again today. Vatira, nice recovery. It looked like Nass was going to have a long shot. Vatira gets back into play, deletes Nass, and now has a solid possession of his own, and this time Nass cannot stop him. Off the respawn, Nass thought for a second about the 100 pickup, but instead goes off the pads, and just the position is not one he would have liked to play it from. Sometimes the demo doesn't allow you to get to where you want to be. Vatira, can he stop this from being a goal? He used a little zap dash to get there. Now, a pop towards Nass. He's trying to undercut him here, not allow him to get a clean landing and steal his boost. Has done just that. Nass in net, forced to make a save and go in and out. Vatira's not trying to score on these first attempts. He's just trying to get Nass to use boost, but that was way too high of a touch. Vatira needed to slot it, you know, kind of right top shelf where Nass would have to make a save, or just underneath, or sorry, just over the crossbar, but he put it way too high, a place where he couldn't get back to. And so Nass gets the free takeaway. 42 seconds. We saw Vatira hold on to his lead very well when he had these late. Can Nass do it? Vatira wins the kickoff and tries to get a dual purpose out of his flip, putting the ball towards the net as well as grabbing the boost. He's watching Nass as he returns. The ball went too high. Perfect spawn for Vatira. That could end up being huge. As he takes another air dribble, wants a 50, and he gets it. I'm not even sure Nass got the ball. What a great respawn. You can see Nass trying to path over. He was hoping for that to spawn for him, but it didn't. And he overshoots the save. 22 seconds. Vatira, will he delay again in a crucial kickoff? No, he goes wave dash. He's trying to decide whether or not he can get that midfield boost. He does go back, pops us high, and it's a great possession win on a lost kickoff for Vatira. Into the air, Nass pre-jumps back down to the ground. Vatira air dribble bump, and it will connect. 5-5 with 10 seconds left to go. Nass thought about trying to get up over the air dribble bump, but thought better of it, and maybe he needed to commit initially because he gets Goomba stomped into the ground. Now 10 seconds, huge kickoff. No delay from Vatira. That has been the storyline so far, and it's going to hurt him. Vatira has at least been able to stop the bleeding with his delays. This time he tries to go for a wave dash kickoff. He misses it, and it leads to a slightly worse recovery as well. Has to half flip out of it. And now he's down again with 5 seconds left to go. Huge delay. Nass gets around the ball and bumps him. I have never seen that before in 1v1. Massive delay from Vatira. Nass just dodges the ball and goes to bump Vatira instead, and then takes the ball for himself and wins in Game 7. What an adjustment from Nass. He knew the delay was coming that time. He hard committed to it, and he got a bump to ice it out. Nass will advance in the gauntlet, winning Game 7 by a single goal. Wow, that was that was huge. That was huge. I mean, Nass, he noticed the trend that we noticed as well of the Vatira delays. I can't believe he didn't delay earlier, though. I thought for sure he was relying on his delays in late game situations like that, but I guess maybe he thought Nass was going to read him like he did in the final kickoff, but wow. What a game. Vatira unfortunately denied at the start of his gauntlet run.